Hey, thanks for coming by. This is Artsy Wisdom. My name's Diane. I'm going to do two readings, one for Meghan and Harry because there's some sort of rumor that they're split, and also for the Trump's train out there. I want to see if he's going to instigate another kind of coup. We'll see. So I want to thank my OG subscribers. You're going to look back and say, oh, I was there when. But thank you for any and all comments, likes, and subscribes, and sharing. That would be awesome. So how I'm going to do this is I crumple paper for energy. So I've done this before, and it works really, really cool. It's hard to explain, but my hands feel color. I can see colors, and I can sense stuff when I feel it, like moods and stuff. So I'm going to do that for both of these situations. And first, so I know with Meghan and Harry, I've done it before where I feel like they're separate, but they're still together. And I know he's maybe in Africa, maybe working on a project there. And I guess he feels very comfortable in Africa. And I know there's been sightings without the children, and there's been controversy that their children don't exist, which I don't think is true. I do think they've had children. I think she's probably carried them both, and I don't think that's an issue. I think that's just something people want to talk about to make up news. But I want to be positive on this channel, and so when I talk about Meghan and Harry, I feel like it's more of an attitude of, his mental health and maybe that he could find some peace. So I'm thinking, I meditated on them, and I saw some orange, which I know this is summertime in Leo, or the sun just went into Leo today. So the energy's higher for activity and fiery things, outdoor stuff, drama, parties, generosity, kids playing, all the Leo stuff. Acting is another one, so maybe. So I am crumpling this about their relationship, and I definitely feel, and sometimes if I look over here it's because I have to do that. I definitely feel they are separate. And I feel he is over here. She is here. They're opposite colors, which is weird. I feel like he's orange and she's blue. But I know she's a Leo. And he's a Virgo. So, yeah, I feel like they're still together. I have a sense in my chest that they're connected. I feel like in my heart, I feel like they're connected. They love each other. And I felt like that before. I don't feel like, I think they're dealing with a bunch of stuff. They're not in sync like they used to be, because now they're sort of diverting their paths a little bit because of what happened with the book and how he hurt a lot of royals' feelings and that sort of thing. And then how he is unable to get his point across with them. And I think I've said this in the past, he just needs some inner work. But I feel like he's there. She's over here. I feel it in my chest. I feel it in my stomach almost, like not a dread, but a feeling like a connectedness, like between them. I feel like he's busy he's working. I feel like he's doing a lot of walking and, hustling between activities. I also feel like he's alone. Like I don't feel like he feels with somebody, not that he's not with Meghan, but you know what I mean? Like he's spending his days in solitude a little bit. There might be somebody that he's talking to, like personally, intimately, but for the most part, this is like a work thing where he's learning, but not learning, but he's working on this movie project. And I also feel like he's doing some inner work. That's where he feels comfortable. That's where he goes, I think. Besides to blame, I think he goes inward to try and settle that part of him that is so unsettled, that is so traumatized. I feel like he'll come back. Let's see that orange. I don't know. Let's see. He'll come a week and a half or 2 weeks. He'll be back to see the family. He misses his children, but surprisingly not as much as I thought he would. I don't have this sense that he's jonesing for them, which is weird to me because I thought he was really interested in having his family, but I think he's pretty self-focused right now. Sorry to say, but so I'm gonna wrinkle another piece of paper for Meghan. Oh, green. Why am I saying green? Healing, growing, or where she is green. So orange, Africa, green, California. She's also doing stuff, but it's more low-key. I've said this in the past where she's having to rebrand herself and the company that WNM Endeavors, I think, or Enterprises, they're rebranding her, trying to plan her steps and keeping low. That's the energy I'm getting. It's very a softer vibe from her. I mean, from her area, from the people around her. It's like she's not out there doing crazy stuff. I know there was the possibility where they were going to remake The Bodyguard and she was going to be in it, but that's not even going to happen. I do not see that happening. Like, she's very small and it's over here, so I don't see that happening. But the kids are with her. She has help. She is very thin, although I've seen pictures, so that's not a... You don't have to be psychic to know that. It's like his energy is much emotionally bigger. Hers is not as emotional. She is just doing smaller things to kind of bide her time. She's doing something with a book or a magazine, something where she's writing with somebody. And I thought there was a writing thing happening, like, I forget what hers was called. But she was supposed to be writing something. I know she wrote that kid's book, which I wasn't a fan, but she seems to be writing something right now, and they're definitely separate. They're definitely, but not splitting up. I think their love is strong, but it's being challenged. It's being nibbled at little by little. But I feel he'll go back. And even then, I am not seeing them, like, they still are in divergent paths. But he'll be happy to see the children, and that'll give him a reboot, a feeling of excitement. Now, Catherine supposedly is supposed to be, I don't know, I see this too. She's giving Meghan a hard time, and she's not putting up with any shit from them. And I was wondering if Catherine had reached out to him. No. If it is, it's very small. I don't see that. I feel like she's putting a really strong, not a wall, but, maybe it's the ocean. Maybe that's it. But I don't feel that that's happening. More than likely, it will be in time. I think I've said this before. I think unless William becomes king soon, I mean, how it goes is if William becomes king, I think Harry's going to be left out in the cold. But the longer Charles is king, they'll have more time to work out their issues. Henry, which is weird, Harry has a long distance to go to heal and to get to the point of reconciliation. William does too, but his is more about receiving. Harry's is more about healing that attitude. But they're together, going back to Meghan and Harry, they're got together and they're just doing different things. But surprisingly, he is just very inward, focused on himself to the point of almost like too much. And maybe that's what they have in common, is they both are focused on themselves a lot. But I think, he'll come back a week and a half to 2 weeks is what I'm feeling after his whatever that. And maybe it's just a short time. I'm not sure. Time is hard. But I think they're going to be together. So not to worry, but I do feel like it's chunking along. Right. Hi. So now this part is about Trump and his ever-increasing deranged speeches. And he's getting to the point where he's running out of ideas or running out of options. And he's, I think, petrified that he's going to have to go to jail. Ultimately, it isn't a psychic thing. I just feel like, knowing what I know, I feel like he won't go to jail ever. I think he might have a house arrest at some point, but I do think he's scared. So I'm crumpling paper for the Trump situation. And I want to know, going to cause a coup, another one, like January 6th, or if there's going to be riots, rallies for him. Yes, there are going to be some. He's going to be there. He's going to have lots of them, and it feels very amped up and emotional. And in fact, I do feel like they will be increasing. The people that come there will be increasing, because there for a while I feel like it was just crickets. But I do feel like they're increasing. I see a guy with a hat and a plaid shirt, like one of his Trump people. I want to say he is I see him in a puddle, and his hair is dripping. His hair is falling, which it never does because he's got so much hair and he has it perfectly. Definitely rallies, definitely people more and more, and they are getting angry, but I think they're scared. I don't get the feeling that will anybody start a coup. It feels very small. I feel like there are people that want to. I feel like there are people that want to do something, that want to hurt somebody or change something or fight on his behalf. And these are the same kind of people, men and women, that fought in World War II against the Nazis, or fought in World War I, and fought in Vietnam or Korea. These are our patriots. They have just been convinced and manipulated by a narcissistic sociopath. So they believe him, and they don't have the ability to see through him, unfortunately. So they're ready. And so I hate to be mad at them. They're doing what they think is the right thing. And yeah, I still see them having rallies, and I feel like September, October. I knew a lot of big stuff is happening in late August, early September. There's going to be some big stuff. That's the feeling I had before, and I still kind of feel like that way. Late August, early September, it's dark and dense. But for them, I think something in September, October, where they're going to, and they might, I even see bombs. I hope not. I do see some setting off of explosions. Oh, I hope not. But yeah, because I think the theory for them is that they can't get together and do this great big fighting, but they want to throw a wrench in the works and make things so they don't, make people scared and show their support for him. And he'll love that. It's not going to give him what he wants. He's absolutely going to go to court, and he's going to get indicted. The New York one will be meh, and then the on the hush money and all the financial stuff for the campaign. But the one in Georgia has not been released yet. She's not happening till maybe the end of the month, early August maybe. That's when I'm seeing that one. And I know January 6th, Mar-a-Lago, the secret documents, top secret documents, said he was an obstructing justice. That one is going till next May. And so I can see a lot of different events. September, October, December, January. He's going to be rallying and going. And I know he's campaigning, but he's going to do that a lot. And they're going to be fired up. Let me see. Well, there'll be a big coup or I do see a small situation where they're running towards a building. But it's not the Capitol. It's another place, like another building, a governmental building or a courthouse of some kind. That's next year. I don't see that this year. But this year, I do feel like there's going to be setting off of some sort of explosions. Hopefully nobody gets hurt. But that's one of the things I am seeing. And I think he's in early stages of dementia or some sort of senior. His brain is just not right, but we all know that already. It's going to disappear. That's what I'm seeing. It's sort of fading. His brain, his mind, his energy, his impact into our government or our day-to-day life here, it's disappearing. He might win the primary several times in different states, Republican candidate. No, he won't be it. By the summertime next year, there's going to be too many things that are going to be keeping him. There'll be technical things, but there'll be too many things, and I think there'll be enough mishigash, all kinds of problems for him. Anyway, so I wanted just to share that, and I examined that about how Trump and his followers and how they feel, and I didn't like what I saw, but it was more hot spots. Here's a bonus. Thought I'd do one last little reading with my crumply paper for William and Kate to see how they're really doing in their marriage and in their life. I know the family's been really visible. The children have been in Wimbledon with them, and adorable, of course. I always wonder, it looks real, it looks authentic. I know William is a Cancer, I think, and she's a Capricorn, which are opposite on the spectrums. Capricorns tend to be conformists and traditional people. So, and then focuses on family. So, and family is about allegiance and loyalty to the group, to your tribe. So the royal situation would work good for him. But I wanted to see, okay, I see green. They are tight. Gosh, they're very small. Like, they don't let people in. That's what I'm seeing. I feel like they do not let people into their private space. They're very careful. Very careful. They are together though, easily together, very tight knit. They have the children. They are very careful about who sees them, how they see them. It's like they're in a box or a little cylinder. Hopefully this noise doesn't bother you. I just realized that. Yeah, I feel like they're together really, really well. I feel like they're tight. I feel like he is a little annoyed with her sometimes. There's something that she does that bothers him, but marriages, that's how that goes. He gets a little nitpicky. I think he gets a little nitpicky. And she's pretty solid. Like, she doesn't waver. That's the feeling I get. She doesn't waver. He's more emotional. Yeah, I think he's the more emotional one, which is interesting, although he's a Cancer, so it makes him more emotional. But she is definitely the strong one. I can see her as like a post, and he's here. So she's like the solid part of the family. She's the center post, the hub, but it's a vertical, and the kids are here, and he's standing here next to her and tight, but she's the hub. She's the connecting rod between all of them. And as it comes, William and Catherine, do they want to... Yeah, William is thinking about it. He would like to get back with Harry. He's pissed. But it's like brother stuff. You get mad at your brother or your sibling, and it's almost like, not that he wants to ignore it, and he's busy with all of his responsibilities with the royal family and all his serving appearances and his projects. But I do feel it in his heart. I do feel like he would like to. He knows he can't. He's sort of stuck because it's Harry. It's on Harry's end. Harry has to apologize or make amends or something, and he's not ready to do that. So there's sadness. I feel that sadness. Kate's sad too, but she's kind of like hearing her. I won't ever give that part of myself and get hurt that way again, ever. Being vulnerable like that. She felt like he took advantage of their vulnerability, and she is not going to have another part of that ever. William won't either, but she is like... And she does blame Meghan to a great degree. She feels like she came in and was like, oh, I heard the word poison. Even though he had his issues, she felt like she just took advantage of him a lot. She manipulated him. But Harry is like a big lump of goo. And I don't feel... He's just very malleable. And I know that's not true, but because he's a man and he's a grown-up, but I'm very susceptible to maneuvers, manipulation. Meghan, she fills a hole for him. Yeah, sad, but time passes and people get awareness, they get healing step by step. They work through it, and I think that's what's going to happen with Harry. Yeah, I think in time he's going to recover and become aware. Yeah. But for now, it's very interesting with Kate and William. But they're a solid team. They're good. Till next time.